Christmas gravy, or gravy in general, starts with stock from your meat or your turkey. So I don't have a turkey for today's video, so I'm using a couple of turkey bones as the base for my gravy. And I have a couple of stuffed chickens that will mimic a turkey for the purposes of this video. So I throw down a few onions in my base with my meat. You can put carrots, you can put potatoes, but I tend to find that the likes of carrots sucks up all of the juices and doesn't give them back, whereas the onions absorb all the juice and you can squeeze it all back out again when you're making your gravy. So we've got 2 stuffed chickens here which will mimic our turkey, and we have it resting on some turkey bones. We put a bit of boiling water in that, cover it up, put some butter paper on our chicken, cover the whole lot and get it roasting in the oven, and that'll be the basis for our gravy. So we should get plenty of juice and stock from these chickens to do a couple of gravies. We will do a traditional gravy where we reduce down the juice with flour and butter and make a nice sauce, and we'll do a quick and easy sort of a Bisto gravy as well. That's probably a little bit more practical if you want to make litres and litres of gravy for your Christmas visitors. Now we have our meat out and looking good. We'll make our gravy from our lovely juices in the bottom. We'll just have to take these chickens out first and let them rest somewhere. We'll strain out whatever juice is left. This is the base for our gravy. Those onions, as I said, they suck up all the juice, but you can just squish it all back out. What I'll do is we'll make a couple of gravies. We'll do one in the tray here. We'll make a bit of a roux, or we'll get some corn flour, make a slurry, and we'll thicken it up, and we'll put some into a pot and do a quick and dirty version of gravy as well. We'll have about that much. Perfect. So the bones have done their job. We'll just take them aside. We can use them for a stock or soup or something nice. And we have, let me get one of these. We have our nice onions and meat juices. So I want to get rid of the onions as well. I'll just get every last bit of flavour out of them. And then we can discard our onions as well. So let me get rid of all this. So we've discarded the onions and the bones, and we're going to thicken up our stock. So what we could do is let me get a whisk. We put the heat on under this. We can use a little bit of butter and a little bit of flour and whisk it around and get it thick. Or you could use what I'm going to put in here, a small bit of a corn flour slurry. So a teaspoon of corn flour and a bit of milk, and that will help thicken us up. So at this stage, a nice splash of wine would help bring this along, but I'm a bit too much of a cheapskate to open a bottle of wine for a video, so I'm using some chicken stock. And we'll thicken all this up. Keep stirring, have the heat on under the tray, get all those little bits off the bottom of the pan or the tray. Don't worry about any lumps. We will sieve this into a pot and keep it warm until we're ready to serve our gravy for dinner. It's starting to thicken up now, so we'll get a nice consistency, and this is one way of doing your Christmas gravy. So our gravy is starting to come to a boil here now, and it's thickening up nicely. So I'm going to sieve that into a pot. And there we have our gravy number one. If you weren't such a cheapskate like me and you used a nice splash of red wine, it'd be a darker colour, or you could put in an OXO cube, whatever else. But that is actually delicious gravy, and that would be lovely on your Christmas dinner. And we'll move on to gravy number two. Actually, I should have opened this for the occasion. Would have been perfect. So the other way you can do your Christmas gravy, or again, any gravy, and let's be honest, it's probably the way most people will for Christmas Day, is just save all your juices and save all the juice from the vegetables or onions or whatever you cook your meat on. And we will thicken that up with some gravy granules, be it Bisto or whatever you use. I might add a splash of water to that, that'll be quite rich. So I'm going to add a little bit of water and then we'll get it cooked up. Okay, heat on, and we're going to add some water. Everybody wants lots of gravy for Christmas Day. We will add our gravy granules or our Bisto, whatever granules you want, or thickening gravy thing, as per the instructions on the container. And we just simply then bring it to a boil and let it simmer, and we should have a nice big pot of thick gravy. Now, of course, people are going to start giving out and slating me for using lovely meat juices and mixing them with Bisto to make a gravy. But look, let's be realistic. You know, every household across the country, if you've got 8 or 10 or a dozen people coming for Christmas dinner and they all want lashings and lashings of gravy, this is the way to use all of your meat juices, thicken it up, add water, and get plenty and plenty of gravy. And it's fabulous, it tastes divine. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, we got the purest way where we can make our own bit of a roux and thicken up the gravy. But this to me is just as good as anything. And you know, we got rid of half of the juices there, making the other gravy. You could make litres of this if you want to, especially if you're cooking a turkey, you would have lots and lots of meat juices. So it's starting to thicken up now. We'll give it 1 more minute and it should be ready to go. Now, so it's come to the boil, and that's all there is to making it. And you're left with beautiful, thick gravy. Put that into a gravy boat on the table for Christmas dinner, and it's absolutely delicious.